Nobody wants to admit it, but this story didn't start with Caitlin Clark. It started with Angel Reese. Before the season even settled, before numbers mattered, before revenue charts existed, Angel Reese was the loudest presence in the room. Interviews, cameras, social media, debates. She wasn't just visible, she was unavoidable. The league didn't push back. They leaned in. Confidence sells, personality sells, conflict sells, or at least, that's what everyone thought. Angel spoke like she owned the narrative, and for a while, it felt true. Panels debated her. Fans argued about her. Clips traveled. The media machine treated her as proof that attention had finally arrived. But behind the scenes, attention wasn't the real metric. Money was. And money doesn't care who talks the loudest. It cares who makes people stay. That's where Caitlin Clark quietly entered the equation. At first, she wasn't supposed to change anything. Just another rookie, another talent, another name on a growing list. Internally, executives assumed the season would be shared. Multiple faces, balanced growth, a collective rise. That assumption didn't survive the first few weeks. Early season data revealed something strange. Games with heavy promotion weren't holding audiences like projections predicted. Social engagement looked strong, but viewership flatlined. Merchandise buzz didn't convert into sustained revenue. Then Caitlin appeared, and everything shifted. People didn't just click, they stayed. Executives told themselves not to overreact. College popularity fades. Curiosity cools. That's how it usually works. Then the NBA on NBC appearance was scheduled. It was never meant to be a test. Just a crossover moment, safe, friendly, introductory. But the moment the cameras rolled, the plan collapsed. Caitlin didn't perform for attention. She didn't exaggerate or posture. She analyzed the game like she belonged there. And millions watched. Not gradually. Instantly. Inside NBC, producers noticed something uneasy that night. Viewer retention didn't dip during her segment. It rose. When she spoke, people stayed. When the segment ended, people left. And across platforms, that pattern repeated.
Spotlight that comes with an NBA national broadcast. So he loved every bit of what Caitlin Clark did and what she brought to the broadcast. Now, this is where he started talking a little bit about having Caitlin Clark back more than that March 29th announcement. So it says NBC Sports is planning to bring Clark back later this season. Cordella confirmed that she is scheduled to appear as an analyst for the Knicks versus Thunder on March 29th. As we know, he also added that he hopes to see more of Clark moving forward, signaling that the door is open for additional appearances. While no expanded role has been formally announced, the comment suggested genuine interest rather than casual praise. So, hey man, I don't know. We might see Caitlin working that booth. That'd be dope though, man. That'd be dope. Of course, with everything going on with the WNBA, we don't even know if we're
Clips featuring Caitlin moved faster, stayed longer, and reached far beyond the usual basketball circles. That's when someone inside the building said the sentence nobody wanted to admit. She's the draw. Those words didn't stay inside. They traveled. When they reached league offices, panic set in. Because the NBC numbers weren't just strong, they were destructive. Projections painstakingly built over months collapsed in a single night. Advertisers noticed. Media partners noticed. Owners noticed. One owner, according to multiple sources, requested a side-by-side comparison before NBC. After NBC, the difference wasn't subtle, it was seismic. Viewership skyrocketed. Revenue projections exploded. Merchandise demand surged. And at the center of every spike was one name, Caitlin Clark. That's when the owner stopped sugarcoating it. In a private meeting, he said plainly, revenue didn't grow evenly, it multiplied. Once that sentence leaked, there was no putting the genie back in the bottle. Multiplied implies imbalance. It implies a missing engine. It implies someone was producing results others weren't. Suddenly, Angel Reese wasn't in the conversation, not because she lacked talent, not because she didn't have fans, but because she didn't move the numbers. And this wasn't a slow burn. That kind of shutdown doesn't need insults. It needs receipts. Journalists caught wind of it next. Quiet confirmations. Off-the-record nods. Enough smoke to prove fire. Then Stephen A. Smith stepped in. He didn't stumble onto the story. He was handed the data. He saw the NBC breakdown, the revenue curves. That's why his tone was calm. Calm equals certainty. On live television, he didn't attack Angel Reese. He didn't downplay her skill. He didn't insult anyone. He compared impact, reach, revenue. And then he dropped the line that ended it all. This isn't close. That wasn't commentary. That was closure. When Stephen A. says this isn't close, the audience knows exactly what it means. Silence followed. Angel Reese went quiet, and silence in moments like this is devastating. But the story didn't end there. Patrick Bet-David saw it differently. Where Stephen A. framed it as sports reality, Patrick framed it as business reality. He asked the question the league had never asked publicly.
Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine. This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along and she wreaks havoc. She's the rookie of the year. She's fourth in the league in MVP voting. Fourth in the league, her rookie year.
Wow.
Outstanding.
Retires. Can you pull up this quote? She said, by the time she retires, she will be the MJ of, go to Jamil Hill. Type in Jamil Hill. Yeah. She says, by the time she retires, Jamil Hill has made a bold prediction that Angel Reese will become the MJ of the WNBA by the time she retires. That's what she said. Okay. Okay. Let me continue.
Okay.
All right. So
If she leaves tomorrow, what happens to the money? Patrick asked, and he answered it himself. If Caitlin Clark leaves, everything drops. That wasn't a hot take. That was a financial warning. He didn't talk about talent. He didn't talk about personality. He talked about dependency, and dependency terrifies executives because it flips leverage overnight. Owners felt it. Media partners felt it. Marketing teams felt it. Angel Reese wasn't publicly attacked. She wasn't criticized. She was quietly removed from future plans. No statements. No defense. No confrontation. Just absence. Behind closed doors, the conversation shifted. Words like balance vanished. New terms appeared. Growth leader, primary driver, key asset. Those phrases weren't for Angel Reese. They were reserved for Caitlin Clark. Then came the second shock, an internal chart projecting revenue growth after her NBC appearance, a 10x jump. At first, it circulated quietly. Then it spread. Once fans saw it, the debate ended. Discussions live on uncertainty, but numbers erase doubt. Angel Reese's earlier confidence now looked exposed, fragile, and irrelevant compared to the undeniable impact of Caitlin Clark. And hey, if you want more inside scoops on the WNBA, NBA, and the players changing the game, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.
Caitlin in that class by not being prepared for it, and the fact that so many journalists across the country, institutions failed to cover this league, Like there's just so many institutionalized failings that now the league is attempting to hurdle over.
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest thing, just as far as the product on the floor? Because a lot of people talk about physicality. A lot of people talk about the referees. I actually did a deep dive in one of my episodes talking about like who the referees are calling to essentially and where the W gets their referees. But as far as the product, because at the end of the day, fans are not going to stick around if it's not a good product, period.
Right.
Like they have to be there for the basketball. And I think a lot of casual fans got pulled into the W because Caitlin had such a different game that was like just very, very exciting to watch. And she's an incredible player. So they're there. Now they're seeing this product. They're like, oh, this is cool. There's other players that I'm like getting super invested in. But a lot of people have called out like physicality, referees. Have you heard anything from players, owners, like any of your sources about them actively working on improving the product?
Yeah, I mean, officiating, like, I know everyone thinks like this is all about Caitlin and the way Caitlin is officiated across the league. Coaches, like, this has been an issue. Like, go back.
We saw Coach Cheryl Reeve crash out.
Cheryl Reeve is the crash out queen.
Over the officiating. Yeah, it was like one of the best crash outs ever.
But, like, go back to, God, like Candace's rookie year, there's a game she gets laid out, like, and multiple, like, go back to all of these players. It's crazy what they all went through. And so obviously there are more eyes on the league. So there's the way that, the physicality around Caitlin was obviously layered in the sense of like, she's this phenom coming into the league, like everyone's talking about her. So we've got all these vets who, again, it's the same when Candace came into the league, when Diana, when there's a generational player that comes into the league, and it's in men's sports too, the messaging is, okay, this is our